How's it going? Okay, so I think I solved League of Legends to answer the question, how do I win every single game? So I'll show you the proof, because I've been kind of doing some thought experiments and proposals. So 7 wins in a row in here, 4 wins in a row in here, 2 wins in a row in here, 20 KDA. 100% one win. Okay, so if you think about, okay, 7 plus 4 is what? 11, plus 2, 13, and then 1, that's 14. 14 games in a row. Right? So now I can confidently say that you can, after work, come home and win as many games as you want. Well, as many games as the time allows you to do. So this is still beta. I'm trying to perfect it a little bit, but it's working so far. So the secret weapon to engagement optimized matchmaking is, you probably guessed it, oh my god, dodge the shitty games, and that's it. Do you remember I was talking about the box of death, where you're against a tank? Well, one second, let me just... Yeah, so this game here, you see it? Like, Uli, he's like rank 2 in EU West player. So you can't say that, oh, he's a shitter because he's rank 2 on EU West. So it's not like some weird server, you know what I'm saying? And look, he's against a tank. They have a lot of CC. He is Jax. His entire team is feeding. So what do you do in this type of situation? So the problem with coaches is they tell you to play this game, so I'm going to correct them and I'm going to say, do not put yourself into this situation. Okay? So, tools like Porofessor exist. Alright? They exist. So when you see that your team is full of shitters, one sec, I'll show you a dude. Like, look at this guy. He was in my lobby. Like, look at this guy. He has 9% win rate. Every champion he picks, he just ints. Hard feeds. Every single champion. And it doesn't matter what he plays. He plays, I don't know, ranked, Q. I mean, it's just, it makes no difference. He's just Omega feeder, and that's it. You must dodge this type of players, right? So let me give you some pointers. Well, I'll show you some stuff, okay? Well, one sec. Okay, so here is basically the system. I'll explain why it works later, but here's the system. You have to play mid. Have to play mid. One second, chat. Okay. So you have to play mid. I was watching a stream. Who was it? I think it was Adrian Riven. He was playing, and there was some kind of a Riven player. He's rank 1. He hit rank 1, I think, on a server, and he was like complaining about top lane being problematic. It's like very, very team dependent role. And I played mid. Like you can see, every single game in here I played was mid. It doesn't show here, but every single game was, except for the last one. Last one was like, honestly, I'm not gonna play top lane because of this game. Like, this guy was Emerald 3, I smashed him, right, you see? But this Nidalee, man, it was just driving me insane. But whatever, like, I smashed him, right? But he started playing super passive, like super passive. You see, he rushed Ninja Tabi, and I was like, holy shit. And then he rushed this thing, which gives him a lot of ability haste. So he was able to... He was basically like, just like, straight up. He was down 50 CS, 2 levels, and I couldn't do anything, do you know what I mean? I couldn't do anything because control of the game was with the team, but this guy carried hardcore. I mean, this guy just smashed really, really well. But I saw in my lobby that, like, my team was very, very good. So I was like, fine. Originally... Wait, was that this game? But anyway, it doesn't matter, right? I saw that my game was Omega good, Omega stacked, and I looked at their team. I mean, realistically, the only problem I saw in here was Aatrox, and he was against me, so I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna smash this guy. Right, and I did. So I was like, okay, I thought it's gonna be 15 minutes surrender because I did not expect Nidalee to be useful. Do you know what I mean? Because I call Nidalee Fidalee because it's like, champ is just completely useless. But this Nidalee was just smashing everyone, but Nidalee being Nidalee, it doesn't matter because she's just, as a champ, she's just not very viable. Okay? So, you have to play mid. You're basically a laner and a ganker and a jungler at the same time. Because once you smash your mid, you can do a lot of things. You can gank top, you can gank bot, you have control of dragons, you have control. If the enemy mid laner, if the enemy jungler invades your jungler, that's 100% kill for you, easy peasy, no problem, right? Because you are fed, your jungler is breaking even because you checked already your team, you know your team is not shitters, and like, okay, well, let me probably, I mean, there's so many points to talk about, oh my god. Okay, so these points are kind of like together, I suppose. You have to, well, how to say, okay, even if your teammates are shitters, right, sometimes I play with shitters, but I look at the enemy champion. So, for example, let's say they have mid lane Lux, and their jungler is, let's say, what's that lady that shoots? She's like ranged, she collects those spirits or... Kindred, yeah, right? And my jungler is Amumu, alright? So I'm going to like 2-3 kills Lux for sure before 10 minutes, 100%, right? And if Kindred invades Amumu, Amumu is a brain dead champion, so even if he has like super giga low win rate, he is super shitter, Amumu as a champion is still useful because it's very hard to not be useful with Amumu, right? So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna smash that Kindred. For sure, right? Because Kindred as a champion can't deal with Tryndamere at all. And all Amumu has to do is just be there as a bait, right? So I make this point in here is that the enemy champions must not be able to stop you, right? Because you have to understand, like, you... Okay, so let's close this point, right? You have to play mid. It's just I'm gonna be jumping between the points. I'm trying to avoid it, you know, so it's like a tick box, right? So when you lose the game, you can go back here and say, okay, let's box tick boxes, right? Are you playing mid? Okay? Yes, you are. Are you playing a snowballing killing machine champion like Tryndamere, like Talon, like Riven? I would add like Master Yi to it, but I'm not a Master Yi main. I have no idea if you can play mid lane Master Yi. Now, jungle is another role I would recommend, but honestly, we're not taking any risks. There's no reason to play jungle because mid lane is usually available, right? So I know for a fact Master Yi is a good champ for carrying. If conditions are right, he is extremely good. He's extremely hard to stop, right? But again, jungle is not mid lane. Mid lane, you have control over the game. Jungle, you kind of like the problem. I'll tell you what the problem is, right? When I smash my mid laner, right, I go and I smash their jungler as well. There was a game in here against, I think it was against, yeah, this game here. Was it this game? No. It was definitely against Diana, for sure. I think it was this game. Oh, yeah, it was this game here. Yeah. So look, you see? I smashed this guy, and I went and smashed this guy too. Because he was a jungler. So he was trying to help this guy, and as a result, he also died so many times. It was insane. But our jungler was very, very weird. Honestly, he just did not engage. He flashed for no reason whatsoever. But he got away with it because I just went and I just, like, dominated, right? And our top laner also just I mean, it wasn't like this guy had 18 farm, like 18 farm at like 8 minutes. I was even laughing. I was like, holy shit, how can you have 18 farm? It's just like impossible. You can, with Olaf, you can Q farm from a distance even if you're like 18. Do you know what I'm saying? So this will happen every single time. This will happen. Like if you win mid lane, you are going to smash the enemy jungler as well. You see, this guy 10 kills because he did not take flash, and I saw that. I got like 3 or 4 kills on him alone. Because who was I against? I think I was against. Oh yeah, it was Yoni. Yoni was very hard to kill, but he was playing so passive. I was able to shove and then just get kills on this guy basically. That was about it. And again, look at the team compositions. Like, look, there are no Malphites, there are no Alistairs, there are no meta champions, no Gragas that can stop you. Okay, so for the system to work, you have to pick a snowball champion that can kill a lot of shit. Like Trinda can 1v3 under certain conditions. Master Yi can 1v3. Talon can 1v3. Riven can 1v3, no problem. Riven is hard to play, so be cautious when you pick her. Talon, I think, is pretty brain dead as a champion. Okay, so your champion matters, and there is limit to what you can do, what champions you can play. So that's the problem. It's like one-on-one. The system is very similar to one-on-one because there is limit to what you can play. That's why I call it the league of carry. Like, you're carrying, right? You're not really thinking about your teammates. You queue up just to smash the enemy as if they were bots. That's what you're trying to do, basically, right? So you have to look at the enemy champions. So we're now on point 3. You have to look at the enemy champions and say, okay, can they actually stop me? Right? Can they actually stop me? So you look at their champs and you say, okay, who in here can stop me? Okay, Aurelia into Trinda is a dead end, right? This guy, if you have cleans, is not gonna do anything to you. This guy is completely useless. Blitzcrank doesn't do anything, right? Useful. And the only problem I saw was potentially this guy. But I looked at my team, I said, okay, Mordekaiser into Aurelia is like brain dead shit, right? This guy is very, very good. AP especially, Shyvana, I mean, it's insane, right? Then I was thinking about, okay, with bot lane gonna Omega feed, it doesn't matter because I can still deal with all of this shit as long as I get fed. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact against a, because I have a lot of experience playing against Quinn, I mean, I know exactly how to beat her. Especially with cleans. Now people are gonna be like, okay, I'll probably, let me just 1 sec. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this later. But alright, so, again, you have to look at your enemy, and you have to say, okay, can their champion stop me? Do they have Alistair? Do they have Gragas? Do they have meta champion brain-dead shit that can stop you from 1v3? If the answer is yes, you have to dodge. Dodge is the secret. Right, so you have to dodge. It's probably the most important thing in here. Okay. I talk about that in the beginning, so. Okay, you do not take any risks. Yeah, so you check your teammates, and I mean, if you have this shitter on your team, honestly, it depends on the enemy team. If they have some kind of Shaco ADC, like I had a team on. It was on my team, Shen ADC and Skarner as a support. I just dodged. It was like, do you know what I'm saying? It was like, if they have it on their enemy team, which is like an Sona ADC and Janna support, do you know what I'm saying? Like some weird shit, Lulu top. Okay, fine, you can play into that because both teams are trolling. But this guy on your team, I mean, he's gonna feed so hard. You're gonna, I mean, 9% win rate, dude. He's gonna. You're basically assume that he's not even in the game. Do you understand? Like, so you have to think about a guy like this. You look at the enemy team and you say to yourself, okay, if he's not even in the game, can we 4v5 them? And if the answer is yes, and if your team is other teammates are completely good, you can do it, right? But again, I wouldn't risk it. Now, if you're going like I'm okay with 80% win rate. I'll probably put it in here. Expect 80% win rate. Because you see, some games, everything is aligned, you're winning, but then boom, 2 people AFK because it's late and they have to go and watch Naruto or something like that. And you just lose, you know, you can't win with 3 versus 5. Not with Trinda. Some champs can, but like Jax, for example, he can, but it's a different story. I don't know how to play Jax that well. I'm thinking of changing Tryndamere as a champ, honestly, like, because he's so dependent on his ult, it's like insane. But that's a different topic. Anyway, so this point is covered. Okay, this is very, very important. This one here, you have to be good. You have to be a good player. So you see, like my KDA in here is like 5, right? 9, 21, 8. So the way to do that is you have to basically, well, let me show you. LOL trainer. So I'm basically, so you see, what you do is you watch a replay of the game. You watch the replay of the game and you mark how many mistakes have you made. This is what I do. How many mistakes have you made and what was the game length, and then you divide mistakes by your game length, and this gives you mistakes per minute. Mistakes per minute, okay? And I have this little game where I play with myself. I average out my mistakes and I say, okay, if I made less mistakes on average than my average, I treat that game as a win regardless of the outcome. I used to do that a long time ago. So I kind of detached myself from League of Legends outcome, and I just played myself, kind of like my own game, where I don't really care about the outcome of League of Legends. I just care about me playing well. And then I can say, okay, based on my performance, that's a win for me because I averaged out less than my average. I did better than my average, therefore I won the game. If I did worse, even if I win the game in League of Legends, I still count it as a loss because I didn't perform as good, right? It was just a psychological game a long time ago. That was like season 4, I think. Long time ago I had it, so it's a good way to detach. Now the problem you're gonna have is in a loser's queue. That's one of the problems I had with this system, is that in the loser's queue, that's why I only started watching games that I win, because you can make an impact on them. Because in the loser's queue, what happens is you smash your, let's say you play top lane, you smash your Fiora, whatever, she's like 0-5. Then Fiora starts literally rushing armor, only armor, so it gets harder and harder to kill. And then the enemy team just rotates top lane, and you literally just stand there for the next 20 minutes and farm. There's not much you can do to win the game. Do you know what I'm saying? So like your ability to impact the game has diminished to such level where you realistically just waiting for surrender world, because you can't run into Leona and 15 kills Draven. Like, I mean, in here, you like what are you going to do in here? Do you know what I mean? 15 kills Draven with Thresh, 20 assists. I mean, he is already so tanky, this guy's gonna one-tap you. So, like, your ability to do anything is just diminished, so there is nothing to really review. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like you're just like observing, and you're just standing there. It's like you're just standing in the bush and you're just waiting for surrender world. That's it, for 20 minutes. So what exactly are you learning from this? You're not learning anything, right? So it's pointless. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch the games that I lost, because most of the time it's loser's queue. I'm only going to watch games that I won and see how can I improve. And that's it. So you can see, so in here, every single replay I watched is a win in League of Legends as well. because I only watch the replays that I won anyway. But it's not a problem here because most of the time you win, anyway. Okay, I'll link these two videos, so because you have to be aware of the mistakes that you're doing, and that is game knowledge. You have to understand your fundamentals, and for that you can watch Fogged videos. He's probably the best coach there is for League of Legends, because he explains fundamentals in a very easy to understand, kind of like noob friendly way. He is Tryndamere main as well. My apologies, like everything is probably geared in here towards Tryndamere mains, honestly, like no champions similar to Trinda that have a gap closing, that are snowballing. This system will not work for a tank. I'm just telling you straight up. It's like if you're picking some kind of shit like Alistar. That's what I'm telling you. You see, the champion has to be able to carry. The champion has to be able to get 20 kills or whatever in the game. I mean, you cannot do that on Alistar or Gragas. Some passive bullshit. It's not going to work. Because you see, when you're killing the enemy, right, your team can't feed. Because you'll be playing with a lot of feeders, right? But if you kill the enemy, they can't feed. You know what I mean? Like where's the Diana example? Where's the Diana? Yeah, like in here, you see? Like this guy is a complete shitter. But he looks good because I killed Diana so many times that it stopped him from feeding. Like, the plays he was making was just like, holy shit, are you serious? One time, I ghosted to kill Ahri and Diana, so that because they decided to invade his jungle. Ahri had a 0 mana and she was 2 levels down, so I ghosted in. I was like, okay, it's 3 kills. And this guy just ran away. Do you know what I'm saying? Just literally ran away, right? And I had no ult, so I was like, shit, alright, I might get bursted by Diana in here. Right, so I was like, no, it's too risky, right? I can't afford to give a shutdown, so I was like, screw it, I'll just run away myself, right? And that's it. It was weird, like it's just you'll see behaviors like this. But because I'm Trinda, it doesn't bother me, right? Because again, I can get kills myself. So the champ has to have playmaking potential, right? And again, watch fundamentals in here, alright? So that's done. Yeah, so you play one, you review one. Every time you win a game, you watch the replay and you do your analysis, paralysis, and see, okay, how many mistakes have I made? And then you make your own guide where you remind yourself of not to make those mistakes or make notes of what you need to improve on, right? Hello, are you still there? I just like have this thing in my head, It's like as soon as I ask people to do something, they're like, "Excuse me? Did he just say I have to do something?" No, I'm just messing. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, so you have to have a lot of accounts to rotate because you are gonna be dodging a lot, right? So look, I'm counting in here dodge rate. So today, for one game to play, I had to dodge. So, look, I played 3 games, I dodged 10 times. So, dodge rate is like 3.5 games to dodge, right? So, if you want to play 2 games, you're gonna probably dodge 7 times. And you're gonna run out of... because you have to remember that there is 12-hour penalty now, so... You're gonna have to... some accounts are just gonna be blocked for the whole day, So this is up to you to set. I expect, like, if I can win 4 out of 5 games, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? Because some games, realistically speaking, again, like, you have 2 people who are... Your entire team is doing well, your jungle is doing well, your top lane is doing well, but you have bot lane pre-made, and they died both twice. They no longer want to play the game because they are not the stars of the show. So they decide, screw it, I'm gonna AFK. And they have you're probably gonna lose because it's 3v5 unless they have extremely shit champs. In some situations you can play. In some situations, but most of the time it's like still try to play it out. But I mean, I'm just saying that psychologically prepare for this shit to happen. So give yourself space to make for the system to make mistakes, right? You have to play perfectly. Like you have to play perfectly. You have to make sure you do not make a lot of mistakes because it's on you, right? Okay, Professor. Professor equals must have. This one is, okay, extremely good at researching your teammates, right? And the second thing is it has this timers, like massively good. So let's say there is a fight breaks down in the jungle, jungler flashes, you can click on the flash of the jungler and then it will start a timer so you know when they don't have summoners, right? So it's very, very easy to track summoners of enemy. Especially your mid laner, like you playing, you know, okay. Like look, she died so many times because I knew exactly when her flash was down. And that's it. So she would just like... And of course I controlled the minion wave so it was always on my side. But that's in here, you have to be good. So I'm assuming you know things like freezing the wave on your side, because that stops the ganks happening on you, as opposed to being overextended, and that creates opportunity for you to all-in Syndra. Like, but that is all covered in here. Honestly, you just watch them. One of them is like, the video is 2 hours, but honestly, he goes through everything by like in 70 minutes. The rest of the video is just the other guy playing and he's commenting, which is not applicable to you because it's very Olaf oriented, right? At the end, there's also key binding in here, so you can see for yourself how to set up correctly the key bindings, right? Another thing is so dodge. There's 2 dodges, right? So pre-game dodging and then post-game dodging, because loss remake is bigger than loss. We're trying to basically win as many games as possible. So let's say your team is shitters, you know, they have, the enemy has Alistar, blah blah blah, Gragas, UJ, okay, screw it, I'm out of here, right? You dodge here. Sometimes, you take a risk because your team is good, and then you enter into the game. Professor has this Control X, you can click, and then there's gonna be a... you can see the enemy team, and you see the enemy team is like 3 pre-mades. I had a game where it was it was like a diamond player or something, or emerald player, right? I think it was this game here. Yeah, this guy was emerald, I think. Yeah, there was emerald, and one was this guy here. Was also decent. He had like, I don't know. No, not him. I think I'm mistaken for a different game. But let's say, okay, let's say we have Emerald, and we have, I don't know, Diamond bot lane. It's not and you know that you, for a fact that you check Professor, and you know, okay, my ADC is not that solid, and he's going against a Diamond ADC. You wanna just dodge the game, remake it, forget about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to play it out because it's too much stress. It's just with so much stress, you know. Because he's going to feed, you're playing well, you know, you think to yourself, holy shit, and then top lane is probably not doing anything, your jungler is not doing anything, and their ADC is getting fed, and you think to yourself, holy shit, how am I going to carry this? It's a waste of effort, it's a waste of time. Just save your nerves, just dodge it, forget about it, right? Okay, so that's pretty much the system. I'm still working, it's still beta, I'm still like, experimenting, because we have to factor in that normals, they have, this is Silver 2, this is Silver 3, Silver 2. You see there are a lot of Iron players. A lot of Iron players, and Bronze players especially, so we'll see how well it works in Gold. Also, another thing I noticed, well, maybe I'll talk, let me just put some talking points in here. Talking points. First game is usually a win. I'll probably make a longer video on this. Now, you used to be able to do that. I did that on Russian server when I was playing Nasus. Now, okay, well, we can put it into talking point. What to do if you're not that good? So we'll talk about that. Alright, so the setup. You need to have anti-CC, because the only way they can stop you from killing them is crowd control. And look, well, let's see. Yeah, so you see I played against Ahri, and I mean, this guy, how can Ahri stop you from killing her? Two ways. She can use her ult, or she can do the, well, this is not, she can do the charm. Where was the Syndra game? Yeah, Syndra game. You see, Syndra is a slow champion, but her stun is obnoxious. It lasts for like 2.5 seconds. But look, if you have these runes in here, this rune gives you 20 tenacity. Combine it with this, it gives you 30 tenacity. When you cleanse, you get 65 tenacity. You get 100% tenacity for 3 seconds. So it really synchronizes really well with Trinda in team fights and against like shit like Vigor, for example, Syndra, Orianna, champions that Lux is another one, champions that rely on slows and stuns to stay alive. Do you know what I'm saying? So as Trinda, you cannot get bursted because you are immortal, right? And you cannot be slowed and stunned because you have 100% immunity for 3 seconds. So the skill is to time it well. That's something I'm still working on. I need to improve. So if you, like in team fights, there's like really nothing they can do to stop you. Like, think about it, right? So what do they rely on in here? So Syndra stun, this guy slow, and this lady stun, right? And slow. But if you cannot be slowed, I mean, in 3 seconds you can easily kill 2 or 3 champions like this, no problem. Especially with Ghost and move speed, they are so squishy with these items. I mean, this item and this item together is just obnoxious damage. It's so much damage, it's insane. And then obviously, now Trinda doesn't scale into late game, I am aware of that, but most of the games, Baron and Dragons are yours. So this compensates for your how useful you will be late game. And you have to remember that Trinda gets to 6 items very quickly. So most other champions are on 3.5 items at like 30 minutes or whatever. Trinda is already on 6. Do you understand? So although he doesn't scale into late game, but because you have more items, you are still viable when the game is approaching the late game, that kind of 35-40 minute interval. I also take this thing with me, and one of my builds I use a hex tech, this thing, right? So my, like, the ulti is like 45 second cooldown. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty decent. Very good champ to carry with Trinda. I'd prefer, honestly, like, if I were to start over, probably Jax would be superior, honestly. But Jax is very hard to pull off. His early game, like, the thing about Trinda is that he has so much playmaking potential, and he has such strong early game if you play well with him. You can do a lot of shit, whereas with Jax, he's like, he has a lot of issues, like he can't farm enemy jungle. Like with Trinda, you kill your laner, you go, you farm enemy jungle. Jax cannot really do that. And if they try to collapse on you with Trinda, you can just spin through walls and run away. So they, again, you're wasting their time because now they send 4 people top or mid lane or whatever, they're chasing you around and you just spin over the wall and nobody can follow you. So although you're not really statistically doing anything significant, I'm talking about like there's nothing being damaged or whatever, you're still wasting their time, and this time is for your teammates to farm for free, get levels for free. So this is also very, very, like, that's why I like Trindade, because he just has so much playmaking potential. But he's hard to play, I will tell you straight up. Not that easy, because people think, oh, you know, I'm gonna just pick Tryndamere and he has so much sustain, you can just farm it out. You have to understand, if Tryndamere is not getting kills, he's probably the worst champ to play. For passive games, he is by far, I'd say, the worst champion. So that's why he's designed to. You have to be good. Like, you just have to be good. There's no other way. It's the same with like Riven is the same. Like, although the skill cap is a lot higher than Trind's, but I mean, this champ is very, very good. But the skill ceiling is insane on Riven. It's very hard to pull her off. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Talon. Again, don't quote me on this, but maybe I know for a fact that Talon always gets fed, right? Always. And Master Yi is also another one. Also always viable. Another one is Jax for sure, but too passive early. Like Jax is just, I don't know how to pull them off. These are you have to research yourself and kind of like in your games and play yourself and see, okay, what champ is actually. But it can't be passive champion. It can't be Alawi, for example. It cannot be Alawi, because Alawi is by design can't do anything. Alawi, like, people have to run into you. You press R and you just kill everyone, right? But if they don't run into you, if enemy ADC like, I don't know, Twitch or Draven are mega fed, you can't do anything. And also, she cannot kill her laner that effectively. Her kill potential is just non-existent. Another one I was thinking maybe Olaf is another one, but I don't know. I don't see Olaf performing a lot, to be honest with you. Like, most of the time it's. But I mean, there are so many streamers that play champions, and you can look at Camille. Maybe is another one, but again, Camille, Fiora definitely. But they are hard to pull off. But you can see that like they're playing them. They're very effective. They get kills, and they carry with them. You know what I'm saying? I think Graves is another one. Graves is frequently picked. He's quite decent. But it's up to you. Like Trinda, I can vouch for Trinda. I can tell you, yes, he definitely works. But other champs, it's up to you to research whatever you're comfortable with and whatever is working for you. I don't know if you're like winning every game with Alawi, somehow you're like some by stroke of magic. Fine. You know. All right, so this will give you 100% immunity to any stuns, whatever, for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. You can also get shoes. If you don't want to take cleans, you can take shoes. They will give you. This will give you 65% tenacity with shoes. There is also that red Sterak's Cage. Yeah, Sterak's Cage. It also gives you 20% tenacity, right? So it gives you damage, survivability, and tenacity. So you are at 85 tenacity. It can potentially work for, but I prefer cleans because I mean it's a fairly short cooldown and it solves all of your problems basically. Okay, so let's do talking points. So first game is usually win. Yeah, so if you notice, most of the accounts, if you go and buy on G2G a account, you will notice that your first game will usually be a stomp. Your team is good. The enemy team is dog shit, so you go and you win. I'm just saying, I noticed that. It's either because the account is new, or it's because I haven't played on these accounts. I mean, you have to remember, I haven't played League very, very long time. So these accounts have been just sitting there for a very long time. So again, engagement optimized matchmaking system. They want you to continue to play, so they will give you a free win in the beginning. Okay? Alright, so next talking... Oh, let me just tick the boxes in here. How does it work? Okay, so what if you're kind of not very good? What if you just want to play Nasus top lane and just coin flip? Now, you can still use the system, but the problem is... this number here is gonna go to 19. I did that with Nasus because Nasus is a champion. Like, his early game is so passive, you can't really... You need your teammates to be useful so you can snowball and then stomp the enemy, basically, right? And I found that I was dodging 19 games and playing one game. So it's still... you can still use the system, only you're basically... you're just not using this. And another problem, you're playing top lane. Top lane is a shit roll. But you can do it. You can do it. Just dodge 19. Dodge around 19 games. Now it's a big waste of time because it's gonna be like 4 hours per game, and it's not that much. It's too much time. It's like just not time efficient, basically, right? Again, if you look at game's length, it's 28 minutes per game, and it's about 16 minutes to review your game. So we're talking 44 minutes, right? There is also 5-minute lobby, which is so 50 minutes per game, right? And if you're dodging 19 times, it's gonna be a lot. Very time consuming, so I would encourage you just to get good. No! He became good! Okay. So this is... okay. So why does it work? So what's the problem with engagement optimized matchmaking? How are we gaming this system, right? So it has two weaknesses. It has no defense against dodging. So that's one problem. Dodging is secret weapon against engagement optimized matchmaking. Remember, it wants to put you into conditions where you cannot win, and you are just dodging them. Now, the second weakness is that it resets if you have not played games. So it puts you into winner's queue to encourage you to play more. So do you see, if you dodge, let's say, I don't know, you're dodging on one of your accounts, and this account has not been playing any games for 2 days straight, right? What engagement optimized matchmaking usually does is it will put you into winner's queue. Again, we're going back to, remember, the first game is usually a win, because Riot needs to make money somehow, so they need player base, and to get player base, you need to get them addicted. So winning and losing is one way of doing it. So do you remember, like, in drug addicts, normally how do they get hooked? Because the drug dealer gives them first dosage for free, right? So this is the same principle. You get your first win for free, and then the system is like, oh, now I'm gonna put it into loser's queue, but you'll be like, nope, not gonna play anymore, see you later. And then you just rotate the accounts, and that's it. And that's about it. Honestly, like, I don't feel super... Like, I remember, like, long time ago, when I was playing League, like, hardcore, I was very enraged, angry, and I was just queuing up just to win the game because I was so angry at my teammates. But now I'm, like, chilling. It feels like one-on-one to a certain extent. Because I don't have this buzzy feeling. I can choose to play or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, right now I'm like, the shit has fed my game, 2 previous game, I'm gonna win the next. I don't have that right now. I'm kind of like chilling, I can go and eat something. I ate like pizza yesterday, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm very calm and relaxed about League of Legends, as opposed to most of the player base where they're coin flipping and then it removes this buzziness from your head, you know? It's kind of like, it feels like one-on-one, just to some extent. It's like, it's fun. I really like the game, right? I like one-on-one. So I play it probably not because I'm like super addicted, but because out of the games that my computer can handle, I think it's the best one I have. Right. I also like Need for Speed and GTA, but GTA I already finished. I mean, there is nothing else to do in the game. Maybe to just do a couple more missions, but I mean most of the missions are already done. And Need for Speed, all the games that I could play, like I tried to play Heat, but my computer just doesn't do it. I wanted to play what you call it, one-on-one PUBG, but again, it doesn't work. Because I don't like this looting business. Like I was trying to do Fortnite, and I mean, man, it's this looting business and building is just annoying. I just don't want to do that. And then Valorant, again, they have this engagement optimized matchmaking where your bullets are just flying in random directions. So I have no idea how to fix that. And honestly, like first-person shooters, not my cup of tea. It's too reaction dependent, and I mean, I'm over 25, so my reactions are not exactly super high. They're still good, but I mean, they're not. I might pick it up someday, but I don't know. I'll just play this, where the League of Carry. All right, so this is. I'm gonna link this in the description below. Make sure you watch this stuff. Follow the guide. If you have any questions, probably reach out. But you have no excuses, okay? You have no excuses now. I don't want to hear this bullshit about teammates, because this is League of Carry. You don't queue up to smash the enemy team regardless of your teammates. And the way you do that is you look at the enemy team and you say, okay, can I smash this team even if my team is like 0-20? But most of the time it's not going to happen, because you're going to be smashing the enemy laners and junglers so hard that your team simply... There's nobody to feed to, because you killed everyone already. Right? And for you to get to that level, you have to be good, right? You have to understand fundamentals and stuff like that. And you have to dodge the lobbies that you can't carry. And that's it. And obviously you have to research your teammates. So this one is a must. Must. Look, this guy Iron, and he smashed Gold 2 player. He was like 3-0 against Akali, who was Gold 3. Goes to show you how effective the rank is, right? Like, Iron 2 is smashing Gold 3. Now, how embarrassing is that? Now, the probably one question probably people gonna ask is, okay, but how do I rank up? How do I rank up? And my answer to that is forget about rank, just care about the win rate. Win rate is more important than the rank, right? So let's say, you can actually see like roughly where you are. So this is like whatever. This is average of... You can take like, okay, so this guy is Emerald 3, so you're somewhere... And now this is averaging Silver 2. But you'll see like your MMR is going to be going up, so you can kind of see where you are approximately. Another way of looking at it is, let's say there are one of your favorite streamers is, well let me answer this question. How basically to rank up, you just you watch where you are approximately, right? And then you say, but how do you get the badge by the account? By the account. So let's say, okay, let's say we watched some streamer. He went 28 wins he played 30 games. He won 28 out of 30, and he is now Diamond 3. Okay, so you play in here 30 games, and you won 28 out of 30. Go and buy yourself a Diamond 3 account, and it's yours. And I promise you, you can even play the game in Diamond 3, because you are constantly improving, you understand fundamentals, do you see, like, you're not making a lot of mistakes, you will play on this level. You will have no problems playing on this level. Do you understand? So your skill level, although your account has no rank, your skill level is Diamond 3. I mean, to pull off this shit, you have to be good. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, there's like 20 KDA in here. So you can say, oh, you're playing against bronze 2 silver players. Dude, it's 20 KDA. I mean, still hard to pull off. I mean, look at this shit. Holy... Do you know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you dodge. Look, this guy, jungler, Brown, AD. And my team was just smashing. That's because you're in a winner's queue. You're playing well, and your team, most of the time, is also useful. Alright, so don't get attached to a specific client. Just go and buy yourself an account. I mean, how much is G2G? What is that? G2G? How much is a diamond account? Because you see, it's a lot more time efficient to simply use this system and then buy yourself an account than to grind through the actual rank. Because rank, you can't dodge. You can't see your teammates. Most of the time, there is like some bullshit champions that are just like brain dead shit, like Poppy. Poppy not only cannot carry herself, she also stops other people from carrying. I call them anti-carry champions, like Gragas, like Alistair, Nautilus, Poppy. They're not really... Poppy can't kill jack shit, right? But she's gonna stop you. She's not playing to win the game, she's playing to stop you from playing the game. And these champs just... Like, I don't understand how they exist in the game. It's just like... Why would you coin flip so much? And again, the system rewards shit like this if you play 2,000 games. Because, man, it's like 2,000 games is so much time. Okay, so we're looking for what? What? League is not trending, are you kidding me? League of Legends. There you go. So we're looking for look, 88 cents per account. I mean, come on. €8 for 10 accounts. So we're looking for here, probably, right? Well, let's say you want platinum account, right? Let's say you just say, oh, I want platinum account. How much is the platinum? Well, let's just do 3. Let's do gold, emerald, and diamond. There you go. Gold 135. Do you see, like, why would you spend 100 games to get a gold account when it's 135? Just win every single game, 10 in a row, and buy yourself an account. €2 for a platinum account. Come on, give me a break. What a waste of time. Because engagement optimized matchmaking is not gonna let you win on a single account multiple times in a row without having rotation accounts. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this is 2 days. In 2 days, how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games. Oh, wait, 5 days ago. Yeah. That was last week. Yeah, I started last week. Yeah. So you see, I only played 1 game on this account this weekend. Well, honestly, I don't play that much, but you see, you can't really, with this system, you can't get attached to a single account. And engagement optimized matchmaking is not gonna... You can potentially, but again, you see, like this research, like this tool, how are you going to manually research every single teammate? This tool is so efficient because you can see the names of the teammates. It straight away automatically shows you all you need to know. Whereas doing it manually, you adding like 5 to 6 minutes per lobby, and if you're dodging 5 times, your research alone is going to be 40 minutes per game. Do you understand? It's just not time efficient to do it. And given that the cost is €1, €2, it makes no sense not to do it. And if you want to like prove to yourself that you can play on that level, again, buy the account, make sure that in here you are winning a lot and you're consistently playing against players like, let's say, Emerald, Gold, Platinum players, and you're smashing them. I promise you're gonna do well. €3 Diamond 4. Guys, like, holy shit. Are you kidding me? This is €3 for a diamond account. Man, I thought they were like €70. Are you kidding me? Why is it so cheap? What? 6,000. Oh, this account is probably jammed. Let's remove ranked. Oh shit. Ranked account. No. €5. Hand leveled. Diamond 1 for €8. Yo, dude, I just hit Diamond 1. I played 1,000 games with Gragas. You do know that it's like €5. And it took you a whole year. And the market value of this is €5. I mean, come on, just buy an account, guys. Come on. And if some shitter is gonna shit talk you, just say, "Oh, dude, okay, if you're so smart, let's play one-on-one." How does that sound? Be like, "Oh, I have to play with friends. Oh, I don't have time for a shitter like you." Oh, the usual excuses. Anyway. Okay, so that's my rant for the day. I'm going to link this in the description below. So if you have any questions, reach out. Take care. Bye-bye.